I am so happy with how this looks for the Rangers. We have a pitcher, Jack Leiter, and he is a dude.
And while I do think his hitting is worse than Derek Jeter, it's not that far off.
You're not mentioning 2006. You can mention the other people, not 2006.
Oh, just because I bought the best soap doesn't mean your room's going to be clean. It just leaves it to where I don't believe that the Canadians had a shot.
I really don't like the Clippers just kind of sending it in when they're like...
Hi, this is Kelly Forbes with the Dallas Stars, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by the man, Austin, who is not in a cardigan.
No, I am not. Today we're talking about a team that we've had a lot of conversations about, a team that I've had my doubts about, and last week was a rough loss for the Bills.
I can't believe that. That's insane. You and I were talking about it before. I'm like, I can't believe they lost to the Patriots.
And they should have lost the week before to the Giants. That was a pass interference against Darren Waller. That happened against Darren Waller.
That's that game.
This is going bad fast. They should probably be 3-4. And those teams that they played against had not been good. Yes, they have one impressive win, Kevin, against the Dolphins. Their other wins, Raiders, Commanders, Giants.
They're such a weird team. I don't think they're not a consistent team. That's why I think it is.
True. And when you consider the fact that they have 11 turnovers as a team so far, which is bottom 10 in the NFL, Josh Allen's already thrown 7 picks. I'm worried.
And I think you should be worried. And I've been high on the Bills, but now I'm coming down on them because they're not following the path. Like, okay, you can be an inconsistent team, then you become consistent because you've learned. There's no drastic change, really. There's no drastic change at coach, no drastic change at wide receiver, no drastic change at QB. They've all just I don't know. I think they're just not focused. And you can tell, I think they got focused for the Dolphins game, and then they probably weren't focused for the Giants game, but they pulled one out. And the thing with the Giants game too, or the Patriots game, is the Patriots got to a big lead. Like, I think they were up at least 10 at one point. It was like 13-0.
I pulled up the game. The game at one point was New England 13-3.
Okay, 13-3. And to me, they just have slow starts. But so this is a team because I think the only thing we really care about is this team in the playoffs. We've seen them in the regular season. It's just, okay, what do you look like when you enter the playoffs? And I don't think you can trust a team that isn't consistent in the regular season.
100%. And they're not winning the games they should. That's the problem. You can lose games against tough opponents and not have the best record. But, those were against tough opponents. Let's wait until we see the playoffs. These Patriots, not a good team. The Giants last week, not a good team. The Jets they faced against week 1, not a good team.
Yeah.
They had Jaguars. 5. You go.
I'm sorry. What do you want to say?
They forced 5 turnovers against the Commanders. But again, these last 3 weeks, Kevin, they've had 2 turnovers every week. They've turned over the ball twice the last 3 weeks. You can't win consistently turning over the ball that much. Like I said, they're bottom 10 in the NFL in turnovers as a team.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the Jaguars, 25-20, you play a good team, you lost. That's okay. But yeah, that's kind of my big thing with the Cowboys is you lose against a team you shouldn't. They're not focused. And the thing is, the defense, how do you allow the Patriots to score a last-minute touchdown to Gesicki? Because I was like, I'm like, there's no way they're going to get out of this. And then they didn't get out of it. But you allowed this offense that has been terrible to put 29 points on you. 29. That's insane.
Yeah, that's a good point. Another thing I'd like to bring up, though, is that the the Patriots defense hasn't been stellar either. And the offense for the Bills got nothing going, and they relied on a Kendrick Bourne fumble really to get them a touchdown. So they are struggling. Like, this is not a team that's without their problems. And again, Josh Allen turned over the ball twice, one interception, one fumble loss. You can't keep doing that. You can't, especially not against a team that's going to have something to play for. Like Thursday night, the day this is posted, they play against the Bucks, and while the Bucks have not been great this year, they have that grit. They're going to fight. Their defense is not bad. So you have to wonder how the Bills respond, and at what point. Again, I know that they've stopped getting leeway from me, but there's a lot of NFL fans out there that keep giving the Bills a pass, and at some point that has to stop.
Yeah, I'm starting to stop giving leeway. I gave them leeway last year. This is not, especially when they lost to the Bengals in the way that they did. You can't do that. And if you're looking at the past 3 weeks, this week was the most points they've scored. They scored 25. Week before that, scored 14. Scored 20 against the Jaguars. But before that, they were the Jets game. They only scored 16, but then they go 38, 37, 48. And here's what my prediction is for the Bucks. I think the Bills come out and they have their best game ever, and they're like this, and people are going to be like, "This is a Super Bowl team." And no, you can't do that. They have to be consistent.
Here's my thing, Kevin. If they don't, if the Bucks win, is it panic time?
Yes, I think it has to be panic time because the Bills have regressed every year in the playoffs, basically.
Yeah. I mean, not to mention that Josh Allen is tied for third in the league in picks, only one behind Jimmy Garoppolo and Jalen Hurts with 8. They're turning over the ball too much. You have to, again, you can't. That's always been a big thing for me is not turning over the ball. It's something that a lot of elite QBs do not do as many times. But that's not been the case with the Bills. It seems like Josh Allen's never learned how to take care of the football.
Or I think he's just not focused. I think he's just like, oh, I can do this. And he doesn't have that motor. And this is, I think, just a focus thing that we've seen. Because when you look at a Super Bowl team, they do have faults. The Chiefs last year lost to the Colts. But those things are going to happen. Last year, the Eagles lost to the no, they lost to Washington last year.
In the regular season, yes.
Yeah, that was their first loss. You're going to have bad losses. That's okay. But when you look at teams that win, they're consistent and they learn from their mistakes. That's my thing with the Bills is you're not focused. You're not getting the job done. You're overlooking opponents. That's not a championship team to me.
And it's not like, again, with the Vikings, I know they have won. They're 3-4, while the Bills are 4-3. But the Vikings have turned it around. Apparently, they've actually gotten wins 3 of the last 4 weeks. They lost by 7 to Kansas City, but they're beating the bad teams of Carolina and Chicago, and they beat a pretty relatively healthy 49ers team. I know they didn't have Debo, but they had Christian McCaffrey, they had Brandon Ayuk, they had George Kittle, they had Trent Williams. So they seem like they're turning it around. I know I'm always big on Kirk Cousins, but he leads the league in touchdown passes. He has 16 touchdowns and only 5 picks, while Josh Allen has 15 touchdowns and 7 picks. So, but Kirk would never get that leeway. And again, if the Vikings end up winning this week, I believe who they play. They play the Packers. They play the Packers. If the Vikings
that should be a win.
We'll see. If the Vikings beat the Packers, right, and the Bills lose to the Bucks, I'm more confident in the future of the Vikings when they're going to get Justin Jefferson back. They're going to get players back, and it seems like they're actually on a rise, while the Bills seem like they are the same team every year.
Yeah, I would say the Bills are in decline. If the Vikings win, I'd feel more confident in their future because the Bills, I was high on them. They haven't shown what I want to see. And like you mentioned Josh Allen, he's regressing. I think you would have to change coaches. Like
I don't know what else you could do. I agree.
Like I think they need a new voice. I'm not saying fire him after the Bucks loss, but see how the season happens, and if you don't do it, or even if you don't make it to the playoffs, you even if you do make this playoffs, but I could see them missing the playoffs for the Bills, and then I would fire McDermott because he's been there 8 or 9 years probably,
It's been a while.
and I think they need change in offense ever since DeBall left. That's kind of where you've seen Josh Allen regress. So it's a big week for them. But this is what I think is going to happen. They've been really focused this week, and they're going to dominate the Bucks. But then, I don't know. We'll see what happens. They face the Bucks, then they go to the Bengals. They'll probably be focused for that. But face the Broncos in 3 weeks. Maybe the Broncos pull off the upset.
They can't let that happen, is the problem.
Well, they can't let it happen, but I think they will. They'll go, it's the Broncos. They stink. And then they get to halftime. Okay, how are we only up by 3 points? Or how are we down by 7?
Their offense has been so bad in the first half, and they got to fix it. And again, we've had a lot of people give blind faith to the Bills, and they have ever since that AFC. It wasn't the AFC Championship game. It was
No,
the
it was
AFC.
the divisional round, but that
Yes.
was a fantastic game.
It was.
I'm like, you fought toe to toe, just bad luck of the coin.
Yeah. But at some point, the blind faith needs to go away.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think this season would be when that happens.
Yeah, I think my faith is pretty low on them right now. Because I would say I was in the group, I'm like, man, this is going to be a good team. Josh Allen's going to be great. And the next year, okay. And then last year, okay, this is not good. Because and especially in the playoff loss to the Bengals, where it just seemed like the Bengals came out ready to play. And it was like only a 10-point game, but it seemed much bigger than that.
And here's the thing. The Bills right now are the 7th seed. They'd be the last team in. But you got to remember, the Bengals are right now out of the playoffs. So if the Bengals win that game against the Bills, they would surpass them.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is not a safe – they're not in a safe spot right now.
Oh, absolutely.
They're not. There should be warranted, genuine concern.
Yes. And I think Bills fans sense that concern, but they don't want to address it because they're like, we'll be fine. Josh Allen's great. He's one of the best quarterbacks. Hey, man, it's not looking good. And you got that contract. You got Stephon Diggs. You got McDermott. This would need an overhaul to me, where the Vikings, to me, don't really need an overhaul.
I agree.
Yeah. And then we'll have to see with the Niners. That's something I'm shocked that they lost to the Vikings. Because they kind of were slow, too, to the start, the Niners.
Yeah.
And it seems like Purdy's thrown a few more picks lately.
And again, those are the picks that I don't see. Again, while Kirk's maybe not winning you the games, did Kirk have that big-time interception that lost him a game? No, but I see that with Josh Allen. I saw that a couple of days ago with Purdy, but I'm giving Purdy time. He deserves it. Yeah, he deserves the time.
Second year, coming off an injury, there's a leeway there for me. Josh Allen got a contract. It's his 5th or 6th year in the league. No, it's his 5th. Because the contract starts next year, I'm pretty sure. This is when you're a matured quarterback. This is where, because if we want to take 3 different quarterbacks, you have Purdy, you have Allen, Cousins. 3 different stages to me in the quarterback, how I view him. Purdy, you're developing. You're fine. Let's see what year 3 is like. Or, still play well. I'm not saying if he's terrible. No. But he's good. He does have some mistakes. Allen is like, okay, what really are you? I've seen the potential. Kirk Cousins to me is, okay, this is my established view of it. Are you changing? And there's an argument to say he has changed or something is different.
Yeah, and Josh Allen, this is actually his 6th year. This is his 6th season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so because he was drafted in 2018. 18.
Yeah, 2018.
So he's played 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. And this is supposed to be your peak. Kirk, you should not only just know what he is, but he's also 35. This should be when he's starting to tail off.
Mm-hmm.
This should be the decline, but I don't see the decline from him performance-wise. There is no performance decline at this point. He leads the league in touchdown passes. If that's a decline, we have a serious conversation to be had about how good he was before this point. But at the same time, Josh Allen has to stop throwing the game losing interceptions. He threw one of the worst picks I have literally ever seen multiple times this year. Multiple times. The pick he threw against the Jets, where he's just basically throwing a punt. I know you remember that.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah,
I
that
remember
was
talking
that
about
was
that the next day.
horrible. The pick he threw last week was very bad. Again, it's just he's trying to do too much.
Or he feels like he can save the world. He feels like he's Superman. He feels he can get that hit. To me, he's a kid playing Madden, where, oh, I can throw a pick. I'll be fine.
He seems like that's a good comparison because I don't think he has the patience to have a long drive. He wants the 70-yard touchdown on the second play of the drive. Then okay, let's get 8. You go.
Answer what the defense gives you. And we saw that with Mahomes. Was it year 3 of Mahomes playing wise, where he had interceptions problems and he was always going for the deep ball and it ended up getting picked? Then he developed, okay, I'm going to take what the defense gives me, but I'm still going to look for that deep ball. It's understanding your role. And to me, that's the evolution of a quarterback. Is this the right play for this moment? I know the fun deep play is fun. It's great. It's amazing. It's a great highlight reel, but defenses are going to adjust, and how do you adjust to those defenses? And I don't think Josh Allen has reached that yet, and that's where you should be in year 6. You've been in the league for a while. You've gotten used to it. You've gotten stronger. Now your mental game needs to adjust. Purdy is still adjusting to the league. Kirk Cousins has already adjusted to the league, or he's been in the league long enough. We know what he is. I'd still say he's in the good range. He's not on the decline yet. But yeah, Purdy's on the up. Josh Allen is starting to go in that middle plateau where, okay, this is what you are. There's not much potential of you. This is what you are.
Yeah, we see he's almost a finished product.
Yes.
Now, you can still have productive years as a finished product. I'd say Mahomes is a finished product.
Yeah,
We
Kirk
know what
Cousins
Mahomes
had
is.
productive years as
Yeah.
a finished product.
I don't think Mahomes' potential is all that high now. If we're talking about future getting better, he's a finished product. But that doesn't mean he's bad. That just means we know what he is. But that's the problem with Allen, is that, okay, this is who you are. And we're getting to that point.
And what we thought would be a top 5 QB, top 3 QB, or for me, I thought he'd be top 3, top 2. He's not. That's not his finished product. Mahomes is a finished product. Is the best quarterback in the league.
Yes.
Kirk Cousins is fringe top 10 to me. You can argue he's top 10. He's not in that upper echelon.
But he's at this point of the season, at least, he's at the same point of Josh Allen.
Yes, Josh Allen is in the range of Kirk Cousins, and to me, as a GM, that changes my view of how I build my team around you.
Exactly.
When you have a top guy, okay, I should give him the best wide receiver. It makes it great. We saw Rodgers and Adams, but look at Mahomes. Mahomes is doing stuff without the best wide receivers.
He is Kelsey, but you still need somebody. But yeah, I get your point.
You always need a number 1 guy. You need a guy that can get open. That's Kelsey. But it's the offense around him. How can I help this team? They make up for the inefficiencies of a team that I don't think Cousins, Allen, Dak. To me, there are other issues. There have to be other. You have to make up for the issues that they can't make up for. Because quarterback is the most important position. I think you can win with a fringe top 10 quarterback. It's just you have to be perfect.
Yeah.
So that's all we got. Let us know what you think. Bills fans, come at us. That's all we got. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.